Okay, so we are ready to begin. So on this line, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna tell the Arduino that there is something connected to pin number 8. And by and at pin number 8, we're using that as an output. The word output means that the Arduino must send a signal out. So now it's gonna send a 5-volt power signal to the LED in our case. And if you tell the Arduino that I want to use pin number 7, for example, as an input, that means that the Arduino is ready to take a signal from the outside and let it in its program and do other functions with that. So we are also going to do outputs, but later. So now we know that pin number 8 is an output and it outputs 5 volts in order to light up our LED. So that's the first thing we're going to do. So now the way that you do that is you type pin mode, right? And write it exactly like this, small letters, and the M must be in capital letters. The moment it changes to orange, you know that you've done the right thing. And then you open brackets. Now the pin that we are using is pin number 8. So we're gonna type 8 here and then put a comma and then we say output in capital letters. It changes blue. It means that the Arduino is still with us. It still understands what we are doing. Now, very important is we're gonna put a semicolon at the end of the line. All right. So that's it, son. So that's it now. If you like, you can put a comment here, and you put comments, and they are gonna highlight in gray. So the comments are for you as a programmer to know what's going on within your code, because in plain English for us as humans, this does not make sense. But the Arduino understands it. This is telling the Arduino that, hey, I want to use pin 8 as an output. So pin mode 8 output. So that's how it speaks. All right, so now pin 8, sorry, has been set as an output. All right, so the reason why we are not writing this here in the loop is because we only want the Arduino to set the pin once, like because our physical system is not changing. So, just tell it once that, okay, pin 8 is your output and deal with it. Okay, so we move on now. So now there's nothing else to set here because the the only hardware part that is using the Arduino is pin number 8. All right. So now let's go on. This is where we write our our instructions now, because this is where the Arduino will just repeat everything and do the things that we tell it to do. All right. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna tell the Arduino to make the green LED go on and just remain on. All right. So to do that, we say digital, digital, capital letter, right? Turns orange means that we are good. And then we're gonna say write pin 8. The right the right function just says that, okay, make pin 8 whatever value, or make it high. By high, we mean that make it a high voltage. Instead of a 0, give it a 5 volt. Uh, and you say the correct language in the software to use for that is write. So we're gonna say digital write 8, comma, high, all in capital letters, turns blue, so that means it's correct. And always at the end of every line, put your semicolon, like so. All right, so this is it. So what this thing does, guys, is that you tell the Arduino pin 8 is an output, so the Arduino knows that it only gives out signals at pin 8. And then the digital write 8 high, this means that I am making pin 8 high. By high, it means a high voltage. A high voltage is 5 volt. So the Arduino on pin 8 can either give 0 volts or 5 volts. So in the case where it gives 0 volts, no power goes to the LED. In the case where it gives 5 volts, which is a high voltage, then power goes to the LED. Therefore, the LED will go on. All right. So reading this, it comes here, and then it's going to be in a loop where it like makes pin 8 high all the time. High all the time. So what's going to happen is that once we transfer this software to our Arduino, immediately the LED will go high, or the LED will light up and will remain like that. Okay, so we use the words 5 volts high, energized, like interchangeably, but those words mean the same thing. All right, guys, so if you've done this, you have successfully written your first program, and instead of using a push button to turn the LED on, you are now using software or machines or some form of artificial intelligence. Okay, importantly, what we're going to do now is that we're going to verify our code. So what the software just verifies our code and makes sure that the Arduino will be able to understand this. If it fails here, it means that the Arduino will not understand it, and then it will not go to the Arduino. All right, so let's just click on verify and then just wait for it. Okay, it's just gonna ask me to save. Just gonna save. Let me save it as uh, first program, and you can save it anywhere in your documents. I save it in my Arduino folder. Didn't just save, but you only have to save once anyway, and you're good. All right, so see now, it's just if you look here on the bottom right of my screen, it's verifying everything. All right, cool, and it shows you here. Done compiling means that it verified. So what I want to show you is that if you typed this thing incorrectly and the Arduino was not going to be able to understand this. So let me just remove the semicolon over here. Remember that I told you that the semicolon is very important because it tells the Arduino that, okay, this line has been finished and I must go to the next line. So if you try verify that, you're going to see that the software is not going to like that. So the software is like a guard on the behalf of the Arduino. So the software is picking up that if we send this piece of software to our Arduino, the Arduino is not going to be able to understand this because we left out the semicolon. The semicolon gets everyone in programming, so don't feel bad if you always miss out the semicolon, even myself as well, and every great programmer out there game misses out the semicolon. So let's put the semicolon back and then we verify again, and it's happy with that, and it's good to go. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna click on this button, this arrow. What this arrow means, it means that you are now ready to upload your code to the Arduino. So now when you click this, immediately all this piece of software and these instructions are gonna go down to your Arduino. So let's click on that. All right, and then it's done uploading. Okay, so I've switched back to my Arduino and I just want to show you guys what happens the moment you click on upload on your computer. I want you to observe that these tiny onboard LEDs of the Arduino, they flash, indicating that the computer is downloading your program to the Arduino. And immediately once these lights stop flashing, you will see that the Arduino, now that it has the program, will turn the LED on as we have specified in our program. Okay, so I'm just going to upload again so that you guys can see from this angle. Voila. And then the LED comes on. You saw that those two light flash over there. Alright, so let's do something more interesting now. We are going to turn the LED on
and off, on and off. So I'm just gonna switch back to my computer and I'll keep this set up like this. And you should observe that the LED, once we've done writing our program, it will flash on and off. Okay, so I'm just gonna switch to my computer.